right? So like a panel can get bypassed. This one like was a cell getting bypassed, but a panel can get bypassed as well. One problem that would cause is that, as I mentioned, you might end up in the bypass. When bypass happens, your IV characteristic is not like this anymore. It's like this. So you might end up with couple peaks. One of them is local, one of them is or like it will be the other way. One of them is, sorry, should be like depending on like where the INV is, this peak can be higher or this peak can be higher. Now in this case, because voltage is much bigger than V times I is much bigger here, so like this is I draw it. So this can happen in partial shading cases, or like it can happen in when bypass happens. We also, in a case that we have our solar cell or solar panel connected to a load, let's say a house again. In this case, we don't want the flow of water, flow of power to be this way. We only want to have the power going in this direction. So that's why we would have a blocking diode. Okay, so that's to make sure that the current is never reversed, the direction of the current. Of course, it adds more loss to our system, but just like its advantages are more than the disadvantage. Now, so this is like what I was mentioning about the connection schemes Dr. Jeff has prepared. Oh my God, sorry, I'm so sorry about that. Dr. Jeff has prepared a few pages on this. Okay, so here, can you guess if this is like which one of those categories as I was mentioning about the topologies for implementing Mppt and inverter? This is the central method. So you have like one inverter, you have a DC-DC converter that would take care of the Mppt, and all your solar panels are connected to the same thing. So in this case, you don't have that much flexibility, right? Because these solar panels are not being individually adjusted. And you would have long DC wires, long DC cables, but at the same time, like your investment for your like initial investment for the inverter is lower, right? And usually you get higher voltage for the power, so efficiency can be good. That's basically what it is. And but at the same time, the control for the Mppt, it's going to be complicated because it has to take care of many different solar panels. Another configuration that we have one inverter, but we have individual control for different solar panels. Okay, so here like you would have more flexibility, and you can adjust the voltage for each of these solar panels individually. Okay, and another method that I showed here, or Dr. Jeff actually showed here, is look at this one. Now we have microinverters here, right? So each panel would have its own inverter. So this is like a microinverter for each panel, instead of having one big inverter for all the arrays of the panels. And we would have a DC-DC converter. So like here in this case, it's more adjustable, but at the same time the cost can be high. Three-phase AC wiring is usually cheaper than DC wiring, so that's why like this method can be although you need like more equipment in terms of switch mode power supplies, but you can save more on the cables or like wiring. So that's another thing I have to mention. If you want to calculate your overall efficiency, you have to consider the efficiency of the solar panel. So you have to consider the efficiency of the solar panel. You have to consider the efficiency of the DC-DC converter, which is used for MPPT. And you also have the efficiency of the inverter. Okay, so that's how you can calculate the efficiency of a solar panel system. Okay, and I think that's it. That's all I wanted to cover this time. Dr. Jeff also has one very good table in your notes that you can refer to on page, I think it's on page 19. Oh, sorry, no, it's later on. It's on page 22. So you can refer to that one to get an idea of different values for the open circuit, maximum power voltages and currents. But for now, this is what I wanted to cover about MPPT and solar panel and how it gets related to power electronics. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.